You're watching the 38th season of Football Friday. Live from WTOK, it's Football Friday with Patrick Talbot and Eve Hernandez. Football Friday begins now.
Welcome back in, everyone. We are in week 10 of Football Friday here at WTOK, and our MAIS schools kicked off playoff action this week, while most of our MHSAA schools played this week for playoff seedings to wrap up their regular season. Our West Alabama schools have one more week of regular season play. We had crews out both last night and tonight to bring you highlights and scores from 9 different games.
And Patrick, this week we had a lot of implications for our teams in the viewing area, and we're going to do our best to get to all of that later on in the show. But our game of the week this week was no exception. Let's get right out to last night's action in Collinsville. The 4A Region 4 title on the line last night. Cougars starting off at their own 20. Quarterback CJ Towner hands the ball off to Bishop Tillman. He is immediately stuffed. Next play, Towner floats his ball. Too much touch though. The lineman Shane Cole gets his hands on it. He sets up the Knights with incredible field position. That is the end of the first quarter, so the team switch sides now. Knights quarterback Kaden Peoples finds the freshman Cody Pigford in the end zone for the first points of the night, but the extra point attempt is blocked. After the kickoff, the Cougars end up fumbling the ball though, so the Knights get the ball back inside the Cougars 20. Peoples with a keeper, and that ball is out again. Newton County ends up recovering just like nothing ever happened. Next play here for the Cougars. That ball is out again, but luckily they recover. On third down now, Towner looking to throw, but that's linebacker Jack Davidson bringing him down. A rough night for the Cougars last night. The Knights win and claim the district championship. They'll host the first round playoff action next week.
Very nice. Also in 4A action, the Northeast Lauderdale Trojans hosting Choctaw Central. Shout out to the Northeast Lauderdale band for a little Halloween mood music, and just like Michael Myers, the Trojans could not be stopped. First quarter, Jace Jemison gets the show started, slicing through the Warrior defense for a big gain before being pushed out of bounds. Next play for the Trojans, Willie Hill puts a dagger in the drive as he trucks the defender right there. On his way to the end zone, 2-point conversion would give the Trojans an 8-0 lead. Jumping to the second quarter now, Trojans lead now 15. Jemison this time going to do it with his arm. Knife point accuracy on the pass to Jordan Williams. He dives in the end zone for another 6. Trojans would go up 23 after that 2-point conversion. Trojans go on to get the win on senior night, 44-7. They travel next week for first round of playoffs.
And Union looking to end the regular season on a high note after ending Sebastopol's undefeated season last week, but Philadelphia had other plans. Down 6-0 earlier, Darian Hickman will take the ball, but he's going to end up losing it at the end there. Dylan Graham will scoop it up for the Tornadoes. Philly's going to find themselves inside the Yellow Jacket 10, and Chris Rush will take the pitch to tiptoe into the end zone. 12-0 Tornadoes after the failed 2-point conversion. Union would find themselves down 18-0 going into the second quarter, but never say never for the Jackets. Kion Davis would score on the first play to kickstart the comeback. Union scores 21 unanswered to end the half. Union takes a regular season finale win 41-18.
Meanwhile, out to Newton, where the Tigers took on the Clarkdale Bulldogs at L. Morgan Field on Thursday night. In the first, Bulldogs with the ball. Quarterback Williams is going to take the snap and hand it off to Williams, and Isaiah Brown in easily for the touchdown. Pat was good, 7-0. Clarkdale's next possession, Williams hands it off to Brown again. He finds the hole and he finds the end zone once again. Bulldogs lead at 14-0 after that. Later in the first, it's going to be Williams taking the snap again. This time he hands it off to LaDonya Adams on an end around. He's making all sorts of people miss before he cuts it back towards the middle of the field. Then he starts working towards the sideline, turns on the jet, dives for the end zone. He was tripped up. They did call it a touchdown, though, extending their lead to 21-0. Final from Morgan Field last night, Clarkdale 55, Newton Tigers 18.
And now we head to Lake as they take on Scott Central. The Hornets defense doing everything they can to give their team some momentum. A little shoulder pop there to force a fumble, set themselves up in prime position. However, the Hornets offense just struggled all last night as they weren't able to get any sustained drives going in the second half. Scott Central ends up winning 16-6. And several of our teams have had really good seasons and move on to playoff action next week. But now let's turn our attention to games that happened tonight.
Yes, very nice. We've got a handful of those, including one over in West Alabama. University Charter School hosting Marengo for homecoming in Livingston. The UCS Trailblazers taking on the Marengo Panthers for tonight's homecoming matchup. It's the first homecoming for UCS. In the first, Trailblazers up 6. Bell hands it off to Jerron Jackson, met by a group of Panthers but he just refuses to go down. Dives in, kept those leg churning, touchdown UCS. Next possession for the Panthers. It's a toss to a running back who's met by Zy Harris right here. He's going to grab the ball and he's going to jar it loose. It's a fumble, ball on the ground. Trailblazers recover. UCS with the ball on the 10, and it's an end around to Trey Wilson. He's in easily. Trailblazers would take a 20-0 lead after that touchdown. Final from Livingston, Trailblazers 44, Panthers 0. UCS gets the win on homecoming night, and they clinch a playoff berth.
That is a big win for UCS. And, well, it is senior night in Philadelphia tonight as Neshoba Central hosts Ridgeland. The Rockets up 7-0 early on, and the Titans swallowed up by Marion Ragsdale. And the ball does come out at the end there. Ridgeland turns it over at the 1-yard line. First play for the Rockets at their own wood. Mackie Gattis will take the handoff, find the open lane, and will take the pigskin all the way into Titan territory. And on the very next play, however, it was nearly costly. Mark Kirkland's going to take the ball, and he gets it punched out. Luckily, he takes it back before Ridgeland could, and after a tough battle, the Rockets win 40-0.
Kemper County wins this one tonight, 52-12 over Southeast Lauderdale. That's a nice play right there by the quarterback. He's going to get pushed out of bounds. Next play, he takes the snap, and he's got a receiver downfield. Oh, almost bobbled it, but he makes the catch. Quarterback finds another receiver. He's in easily for that. Final from Kemper County, 52, Southeast Lauderdale 12. And now on to Lamar.
To Lamar for the first round of the MAIS state playoffs. First drive for the Raiders. Quarterback Wyatt Bond finds Trip Morrow. He makes a couple of people miss for a nice gain on first down right there. And on the very next play, Bond hands it off to Keelan Curley. He finds his way outside just like that. The Raiders take a 7-0 lead over Magnolia Heights. The Chiefs' first play on offense here. Quarterback Cole Prospect looking for somewhere to go with the ball. That ball is intercepted by Trip Morrow again. Morrow is all over the field tonight. He gives the Raiders the ball right back in Chiefs territory. And Lamar ends up winning this one 35-20. They get the first playoff win.
Very nice, and we'll be right back with helmet stickers and a look at this week's college football after the break.